week. I think it was the video you shared, Darla.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's now streaming.
Okay.
We saw a video this week that you shared that actually compared somebody to the pale horse, the green horse.
Yeah. Remind us what it was, Bonnie.
Oh, it was to do with
And
the royals
Oh,
um
yes.
yeah, I
over
think
in
Jeanette might have shared that.
Jeanette. Yeah, it was Tim Cohen again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fascinating video on Janie Duvall's channel, right?
That's the one, yeah.
What is the name of that author, Jeanette or Bonnie?
Tim Cohen.
Tim Cohen.
That's
Which, of
it.
course, that's the Hebrew name for priest. Let's not lose sight of that. Right? Okay.
What's Tet Men then? For Tim.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what is the name Tim? Because we look up a lot of names and a lot.
Timothy.
Well, Timothy, yeah. Have we looked up what Timothy means? Have either of you sisters looked it up?
No, I think in the New Testament it's Timothea, is it? Or
Timoteo. Well, there's Timoteo, so it's going to be a.
Oh, so it's now streaming.
Okay.
We saw a video. Okay, so just got a live mic.
Well, there is a mic open. I'm going to shut down my mic for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our video today. I've got to get a mic. I've got two monitors, something going on here. I want to make sure that my mic is off here. So my mic is off so we don't get a feedback here. But we're going to be doing a presentation today on the white horse, which Jeanette has been working on for quite some time now. I think you'll enjoy her presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Jeanette. Go ahead, Jeanette.
Okay, thank you, sister. Shalom, everybody. Let's just share my table. Get it into presentation mode. There we are.
Tim, because we look up a lot of. Sorry, I'm having some feedback on my end. I'm going to try to work that out, Jeanette, but handing that over to you, sister.
You have. Okay, so this
a little bit of a delay between the screen I'm watching and what is in our Zoom. So I'm not seeing your information up yet, Jeanette.
No. Okay.
Sorry, maybe I see it in Zoom. I just don't see it on YouTube yet.
It says I'm screen sharing.
Yes, I'm not seeing anything on YouTube yet either, but who knows?
So what shall I do?
Are we recording on Zoom, Darla?
Darla?
Oh, no, you're muted, Darla.
Are we recording, Darla? She's not answering.
Okay, I am now seeing the white horse. We have a link in YouTube.
Are we recording, Darla?
But it's not active yet. It is staying live. Oh, and we do have a pointer. Okay, I am now seeing the white horse. There we go. We're live.
We are?
That was fun, wasn't it? Yes, we are live. Oh dear, we got there. Go for it.
Okay. Right then, here is this. I've been so excited in bringing this particular code table. Today is the 1st of October and there's all kinds of things breaking out around the world. It seems like it's meant for this particular time. I haven't been able to bring it because of the weather here where I live, but timing seems to be everything. So as you can see, the table is called White Horse. And obviously the white horse is one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's it's all 2 Chronicles 23:14 to 36:23, and the skip is 1613, which is gopher. But we'll get on to that after. So if I just bring this down here. So the first horse, the white horse of the 4 horses, when I saw this meme, it sort of, I knew that this would be what the subject would be about, the false saviour. I've seen many times when many people have said that the white horse, oh, that will be Yeshua, that'll be the Messiah on the white horse. And I'm thinking, I don't know. So I wanted to do a code table on it because there's lots of imagery coming out at the moment, and we'll get to that too. So the first thing, always look to the Bible, to scripture, and we weigh everything against the scriptures. So Revelation 6:2 says, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. So the 4 horses.
Jeanette, can I interrupt you for a moment? Would it be okay if we just start over?
Okay.
And what I want to do is I just want to end the live stream and start over. Somehow I ended up with 2 mics and tried to shut one off so I didn't have my audio coming out of me, but I think Bonnie wasn't hearing anything either. Let me just stop this live stream and I will restart. Sorry about it, you guys. We'll just start over.
No, it was okay. It was just you, and you were muted. So
were you able to hear Jeanette then?
Yeah.
For me, it was also
I'm
fine.
listening via Zoom though. What about within YouTube? Is it okay?
Yeah, I think, yes, it's definitely okay in YouTube, because even though I went on to turn the mic off, it was on. So it's okay. Do you guys want to continue? Do you want to start over?
No,
For me, it was all okay.
Okay,
Yeah, me too.
we'll keep going. I'm so sorry.
that's okay. So the other 4 horses, the other horses, with the red horse is sword and war. The black horse is famine and poverty, and the pale horse is death and disease. Now, the colour of death's horse in Greek is chloros. It's a horrible name. I don't like that. It reminds me of bleach. In the original Koine Greek, which can mean either green, greenish yellow, or pale, pallid. So in April of this year in London, it says 5 horses from the King's Mounted Bodyguard were startled at a construction site and galloped riderless through central London during morning rush hour before being recovered Wednesday. One of the horses appeared to have blood on its chest and legs after colliding with a vehicle. 3 soldiers and 1 member of the public were injured. And when you look at this image, it has the 4 horse image, the colours on it. And as we know, we should be paying attention to these images, subliminal messages. Also, Beyonce this year, her Cowboy Carter album cover, that's 28th of March. Beyonce is on a horse again. Apparently, I didn't know until I read this, but she's got a few images of her on all of the different 4 horse colours, on the black and the red, the pale, and this one being the white one. So also with the Olympic Games that we've just had in July the 26th to August, the opening ceremony showed, just move you guys out the way there. So a metal horse gallops down the Seine River to deliver the Olympic flag, and at some point it's evolves into a real white horse with a real rider whose face we can't see. And this is some of the imagery of the real white horse. They have the wings here on the Eiffel Tower, and as the horse was coming down, it's made to look as though the horse has the wings. See there? And of course, at the opening ceremony, there was also this, let's just say, a mockery of the Last Supper, which the organisers then quickly said, oh, it's not the Last Supper, it's to depict the Greek deity of vegetation and fruitfulness, known as Dionysus or Bacchus. So we know where we're going with all that. The closing ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympics had this golden figure come down from the ceiling amid rays of light. They called him the Golden Voyager. Well, I say him, we're not sure what it is. Also, this sign was seen in Texas, and there's a few of them popping up around the place. And it says, look up, and it says October the 9th.com. Behold a white horse with a bow, which is quite odd. I mean, this is Sagittarius kind of figures, a man and a horse combined. And also two comets or meteors or lights, bodies coming from the heavens. This particular advert says paid for by Pay Fractali LLC. And when I looked up, it was very difficult actually to find anything about this company. You have to pay to find out. But a fractal company helps Fortune 100 companies power human decisions by bringing analytics and artificial intelligence. Founded in 2000, Fractal Analytics has a presence in 15 global locations, including the United States, United Kingdom, Ukraine, and India. And what exactly does a fractal company do? Fractal analytics used in the management of digital currency like Bitcoin. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. We know it's to do with AI in the management of money. I've heard blockchain mentioned as well. So October the 9th, there's a lot of information out there at the moment about October the 9th and October and things that are going to be happening this month. So I've just picked a few things which I felt were more important for the presentation and for what is actually in the code table. So we've got Comet C 2023 A3, Shushinshan Atlas. So we've got that coming. Various dates, but this particular bit of information says October the 12th. It could reach magnitude -3, become one of the brightest comets visible in the northern hemisphere in the last 100 years. Also, Jupiter goes retrograde in 2024, and that's in October too. And it says, hold tight, as it will bring turbulence in your life. Apparently that's what Jupiter going retrograde does. And it made me think, well, the last time I think Jupiter went retrograde was during the Revelation 12 sign in 2017, which was 7 years ago. But we'll get onto that later. There's also been lots of interesting carrots, shall we say, put out there of a second moon asteroid, which is 2024 PT5, September the 29th, apparently, to November the 25th. So it's going to stay within Earth's orbit for a couple of months before leaving. And also this comet Atlas. So that's 3 things. So as I mentioned, 2017, total solar eclipse and the Revelation 12, 1 and 2 sign. First of all, in August 2017, we had the first of the total solar eclipse across the United States, followed a month later by the Revelation 12 sign. And a great sign was seen in the heaven, a woman clad with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And being pregnant, she cried out in labour and in pain to give birth. This American great solar eclipse of August the 21st, 2017, went over 7 Salems. And the one in 2024 went over, I think it was more than 7 Ninevehs. So we get an Aleph and a Tau, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet and also the last letter. And Yahushua said, I am the Aleph and the Tau, the beginning and the end. There was also another partial eclipse last year on October, I think it was the 24th, but we'll get to that one in a minute. But what I didn't realise when I saw this particular meme, it said the 2024 eclipse is exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks and 6 days since the 2017 eclipse. Did anybody know that? I didn't realise that. I would have put that in my 2024 eclipse table if I'd known, and it gives you the dates there. It says, are you prepared? So that's something that's come to light recently. So 2024. So this is showing the 2 eclipses. We had comets. We had a comet again, Pons Brooks, and also the year of the dragon. So we're getting back to the dragon again. And also then what I found out was APEP. APEP is in the table, and I looked up APEP to see, and then I found out APEP, atmospheric perturbations around eclipse path. That's what APEP stands for. Is an eclipse rocket campaign that launched 3 rockets from White Sands missile range during the 2023 October annular eclipse. Didn't know this. And the recovered 3 rockets will be relaunched from the Wallops Flight Facility during the April 2024 total solar eclipse. What's going on? They're sending rockets up into the eclipses. When the APEP sounding rockets launched during the 2023 and 2024 solar eclipse, scientists saw a sharp reduction in the density of charged particles as the annular eclipse shadow passed over the atmosphere. Now, this is what one of them look like. And that's the official sign for them there. 6 rockets to study eclipse electrodynamics. Who knew? So Apep, also known as Apophis, was the great serpent deity of chaos in ancient Egyptian mythology. Some stories say that he has his origins in the severed umbilical cord of the deity Ra. Ra was the foremost of the Egyptian deities, having domain over the sun and therefore all life. The Egyptian deity of chaos. And of course, Apophis, the meteorite or asteroid, is coming in 2029, apparently. So you can see there's a lot of things all tying together here. And this even looks like some sort of dragon or serpent from the sea in this particular one. Evil deity of darkness and the enemy of light. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, Jupiter be going retrograde during this month, which brings us to the second part of the Revelation 12 sign. So the first part said, saw a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and the crown of 12 stars waiting to give birth. So after that, verse 3 and 4 says, and another sign was seen in the heaven, and see a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his heads. And his tail draws 1/3 of the stars of the heaven and throws them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. So now we're looking at 7 years after, we're getting a comet again. We're getting these Apep, Apophis, dragon, and we're getting the year of the dragon. It's all sort of coming together. Is now this the time where the man of lawlessness is going to be revealed? The second part of the Revelation 12 sign starts to happen. His tail draws 1/3 of the stars. That could be meteors. It could be the man of lawlessness comes and the angels. In Revelation 5, I know I seem like I'm jumping about, but it will all make sense. In Revelation 5, it says, and I wept much because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll or to look at it. And one of the elders said to me, do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, overcame to open the scroll and to loosen its 7 seals. And I looked and saw in the midst of the throne and of the 4 living creatures and in the midst of the elders, a lamb standing, as having been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim, the Ruach of Elohim, sent out into all the earth. And he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him sitting on the throne. And when he took the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and golden bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of the Kodesh ones. And they sang a renewed song, saying, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you are slain and have redeemed us to Elohim by your blood out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and made us sovereigns and priests to our Elohim, and we shall reign upon the earth. So now the first seal. The first seal is being opened and that is the horse. So in Matthew 24, it says, and Yahusha answering said to them, take heed that no one leads you astray, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. The first seal again, 6, Revelation 6, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying, like a sound of thunder, come and see. And I looked and saw a white horse, and he who sat on it holding a bow, and the crown was given to him, and he went out overcoming and to overcome. So I hope, can we see, or is it just me, that this first white horse cannot be Yahushua, because he is still in heaven opening each seal and releasing the things that are now going to start to come. Yeah? Does that make sense? That will be the deception. Someone can come in his name with a third of the stars, the angels, saying, I am the new Messiah. I am who you've been looking for, whether it's the Mahdi or who Yehuda are waiting for, their Messiah to come first, an alien, I don't know, but something is going to come, and everyone who's waiting to be raptured first will all want to go and follow this being, thinking, no, this is Yeshua, this is him come. I think this is what is being shown, and when I get onto the table, you will see that. Revelation 12:9, and the great red dragon was thrown out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who leads all the world astray. He was thrown to the earth, and his messengers were thrown out with him. And I think this is where we are personally, but that's just my opinion. In Revelation 12:17, it says, and the dragon was enraged with the woman, the same woman, this Revelation 12:1 and 2 sign, and he went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those who guard the commands of Elohim and possess the witness of Yahushua Messiah. And Revelation 14:12, here is the endurance of the Kodesh ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and the belief of Yahushua. And Revelation 22:14 is Baruch are those doing his commands, as blessed are those doing his commands, so that the authority shall be theirs unto the tree of life, and to enter through the gates into the city. So this is who this dragon is going to come after, the man of lawlessness. So there we're seeing we must keep the commands and have the witness of Yahushua. The two things. We will be the saints, but we will also be who the dragon will be, the dragon system, if you like, will be coming after. So we're nearly there. He's nearly on his way. So Matthew 7, verses 20 to 23. So then, by their fruits you shall know them. Not everyone who says to me, Master, Master, shall enter into the reign of the heavens, but he who is doing the desire of my Father in the heavens. Many shall say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and done many mighty works in your name? And then I shall declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who work lawlessness. And this is why people know him as the Antichrist, but we know him as the man of lawlessness, the man of perdition. He's going to try and lead everyone away from the commandments and from the Torah, make a new set of laws and rules and commands, probably. And here we have, this is a big thing, because if Many are saying they've prophesied in his name, so they knew his name, and they cast out demons in his name and done lots of things in his name. And yet that's not enough. They never kept the Torah. They never kept the commands. So it's not till Revelation 19 that we see Yahushua come through the clouds and every eye will see him. So Revelation 19, 11 to 16. And I saw the heaven opened, and there was a white horse, and he who sat on him was called Trustworthy and True, and in righteousness he judges and fights. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, having a name that had been written, which no one had perceived except himself. And having been dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word. As we know, the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. So the Word of Yahuwah. And the armies in the heaven, dressed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron, and he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of El Shaddai. And on his robe and on his thigh he has a name written, Sovereign of Sovereigns and Master of Masters. So there we are. That's the build-up to this code table. So here is the code table. Just have a sit. So white horse. Here is the access term here in this red. I'm going to start over here. We've tracked all the words, haven't we, sisters?
Yes, ma'am.
So here in the green circles, we've got a testimony and a witness. And here in this green, we've got Yeshua. We must have this testimony of Yeshua. We've got seal. It's also signet. And that was what was similar on the seals, the pictures of the seals. It's like a signet ring where you'd put a wax seal and then you'd stamp it. The king or whoever would stamp it with their seal. So this is where we've got seal. Okay, this is Yahuwah. We've got the lamb in this turquoise, and we've got the chosen in this green. And the chosen, if you see the hay here, is shared with and behold. So this diagonal line shares this hay. So it's and behold the chosen one. I think that's amazing. And it runs up through the lamb, and the bet in the lamb and the chosen one is shared just there. I hope I've made this clear with my colour coordination. So we've got also from a bow, the bow, because he is this white horse rider, there's a bow and a crown given to him, that's there in the brown. Be warned, it's here in the black. In this turquoise, we've got comet, and it also meant correction. In the black here, we've got to conquer, to subjugate, and that's what that white horse rider is, to overcome. And it also means for a lamb or lambs. That's the Bible verse for a lambs, and that's the, well, that's the Strong's number for lambs, and that's the Strong's number for conquer, subjugate. Now this is interesting. We've got in my name here in the pink, shares a bet with in code, and we'll be getting onto that in a minute. Here in the red, we've got and the Aleph and the tar of dragons, which is this short blue here in the circles of the pale blue, makes, can you see that? An Aleph and a tar. So we've got red of dragons, which makes me think it's like of blood or something. Moving on down, here with this foresty green, we've got commandments, and with this longer skip, DNA as the Dalit, noon. Oh, didn't need to do that. Oops, let's go back. Dalit, noon, Yod, Yod, Aleph, and that was also making an Aleph and a tar, as I've put them here. So that to me looks like when you keep the commandments, you have the DNA of Yahuwah is running up through here. And I just think that's wonderful how they're all there together. We've got Shining One here, Hallel, the Shining One, the Howling One, reminded me of that golden figure that we saw depicted in the Olympics. We've got for Baal as well. Of course, all roads lead to the same Baal, Chemosh, Molech, Lucifer. We've got the country, land, here. I'm not too sure why that's there, but it's there. I don't know. I suppose that they're going to be landing these whatever's coming, if there's going to be meteors, could be over the land. He opens here with the this gold is he opens, and it shares a pay with Apep. And remember, I showed you Apep, so that's there, and that's the pay that's shared. So that could be to do with the land. And we've got the remnant here in this green. And it's about Yeshua. We've got he rides, rider, and Yahuwah share the Yod there. And we've also got this name. Couldn't find his first name, but it was interesting that this is here, especially as we had the fractally and the Bitcoin and that aspect, shall we say. So also we have adding these words about the dragon, the red of the dragon, the DNA and the commandments, my name in code. We've got cast down and through, so the dragon cast down his tail. So if I just go through these circles, these were added on after when I annotated. Okay, so we've got the Wahe Shin Lamed Kaf here with the red, and that's sharing like that Shin there of conquer, subjugate, cast down. We've got his tail is here, in the horizontal circles. Third, we've got here with the pink circles, and earth is just a 3-letter word, but it's showing the resh there with rides. Going to ride over the earth, probably. So his tail drew a third of the stars down to the earth, and there's star. But it's actually star here, not stars. So I think that might be referring to the one deity. I looked at the whole of this vertical line for the access term, just down here, and the whole thing spelled out a white horse galloped. So from top to bottom. And oh yes, I don't know if I did mention it, yeah. Behold and chosen, the hay that's shared there. And I thought, well, that must mean something because they're on the same diagonal. So to look up the meaning, the Hebrew meaning of the letter hay, this is going to blow you away. The original pictograph for this letter is this sign of a man standing with his arms raised up, see, in the early Hebrew, and then Middle Hebrew, we get the Paleo. This is the modern Hebrew that we work in. The modern Hebrew, an original name for this letter is Hay, a Hebrew word meaning behold, as when looking at a great sign. So the actual Hay means behold. It's like a double behold. This word can also mean breath or sigh, as one does when looking at a great sight. The meaning of the letter Hay is behold, look, breath, sigh, reveal, and revelation, from the idea of revealing a great sight by pointing it out. This was a slide that I did on 3 because it wasn't only a third of the stars. The Strong's meaning of that spelling, a primitive root, treble, 3 times, triplicate, strands, 3 days or years. Do the third time, threefold. This is it in Google. So now our DNA, because we had DNA, which makes an aleph and a tar, as I said, with commandments. So we're looking at, this is the aleph for the DNA, and this is the tar for the commandments. Our DNA is made up of adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine, which are held together by a sulfuric bridge, which appears constantly in this pattern 10, 5, 6, 5. And that in Hebrew is the exact name of Yahweh. We are truly made in his image. I think that is fantastic. It's like we're like a stick of rock with his name running all the way through us. But is that what's going to happen? Corruption of the image. If we take the mark, we'll lose our mark of Yahuwah. So Deuteronomy 6, 6 to 8. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. So if we have Yahuwah's monk, we can't be taking the mark of the beast. So thank you, Todah, for watching. May Yahushua barak you in Yahuwah's name. And Luke 10:23. And turning to his taught ones, he said separately, Baruch are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you that many prophets and sovereigns have wished to see what you see and have not seen it, and to hear what you hear and have not heard it. So thank you, everyone, for watching and for listening. And there we are, Darla. You want to go back?
Yeah, that's beautiful, Jeanette. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's go back to your table.
Do it the quick way.
Actually, before you go back to the table, remember the slide you were telling us about? I don't know what the vowels are, but it was like check and stand, because I'm looking at the Hebrew sounds, the Zadia, Chet, and a Noon. Suk and stand, something like that. Do you remember which slide that was? It was well before
before the table?
Yeah, it was before the table. Suk and stand, I think it had to do with the comet.
Oh. Oh, yes, I know. Shushin Shan or something.
Yeah.
Just got to find
Maybe just before APEP. Is that the one that looks kind of like a map there on the left? The white one, maybe? No, it wasn't that one.
No, it wasn't that one. I'll go through them. Oh, it might be further down here.
Anyway, you don't have to find it, but I was just looking up the Zadi because it looks to me like a TS, that's a Zadi in Hebrew. There we go. And then the CH would be like a Chet and then a Noon. And that stands for to stink in Hebrew. It may have a different meaning in whatever language they're using there, but it in Hebrew it means to stink. The first three sounds in Hebrew letters. And also, right shortly after this, you had a picture of, I think it was after this, you had a picture of a rocket, and it said something about a riddle on it. Did you look into that, Jeanette?
A riddle?
It said Embry Riddle. Yeah, you were showing something on the other side, like I don't know if it was dragon or it's a rocket. There, that one. The APEP. There we go. What is that? Embry Riddle with an eagle.
That's the place, I think. Isn't it?
Embry Riddle is a place?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Aeronautical.
too. See how it says Embry
Sorry.
Riddle. Go ahead.
Aeronautical University, MIT.
Yeah, but what does Embry Riddle mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I looked up I looked up iron. I didn't see it under iron, but Aleph Mem Bet Resh is granary or storehouse.
Wow.
Yeah. And it says it sounds like ember, right? The word ember.
Yeah, it reminded me of embryo.
Yeah. So embry says from Persian anbar and Arabic anbar is also a Persian loan word. So that's interesting.
Huh.
These are launched during the 2023 annular solar eclipse. Wow.
Yeah, they kept that quiet. Well.
Yeah, Embry Riddle. I mean, to me, that says there's a riddle somewhere. Even if it's the name of a city, it's still got its name from somewhere.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that struck out to me.
That might be another table.
Yeah, what is this Embry Riddle all about? Exactly.
Okay, just written that down. Where do you want to go now?
Just so interesting to think about someone sending a rocket with the word, with something on it in case somebody ever found it, like a message. Yeah, obviously the APEP's a message as well. Yeah, we could go to the table now.
Yeah, it's to do with the density of charged particles into the eclipse as it passed over the atmosphere. I don't know. It doesn't ring true to me, but there you go.
So interesting. They will put things in English or Hebrew for us to have to try to discern what are they talking about. Why is it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, or Tessa often has a letter she wants you to look up?
Oh, yeah, that'll be in the live keys table. Because this is on Canva, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. And obviously the gopher, that's the gopher wood, right? The ELS, the gopher.
Yes.
That
You guys
attaches.
hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted just to make mention of the two Aleph towels over on the right
Yes.
are connected by a wire.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
thought that was interesting and quite interesting.
yeah, so it's like these and this are connected, isn't it, Bonnie?
Yeah, and the wire as a letter is a connector or a tent peg, a
Yeah.
fixer, and it changes the tense, doesn't it, Darla, from future to present or present to future?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
If you're dealing with a verb, of course.
When I saw these two making an aleph and a tar, it just reminded me of in Deuteronomy where it says to have the commandments, on your forehead and on your right hand. And that's where, you will be taking the mark of the beast. It's either going to be the mark of the beast or Yahuwah's mark. There'll be no in between. It's going to be one or the other.
So Jeanette, when you were sharing the verse about the white horse came to conquer, right?
Yes.
I found two verses in the Tanakh, in the AKA the Old Testament. This one is about Yahuwah and one is about Satan. So the one about Yahuwah is 2 Chronicles 16:9, and it says, "For the eyes of Yahuwah diligently search throughout all the earth to show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is perfect to him."
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, there's another little piece of it. So evidently he's not talking to that group. He says, "You have acted foolishly in this, so from now on you shall have battles." So obviously a horse with a bow, that's a sign of a battle. He's not coming out to make blueberry muffins.
No.
And then the one in Job 1 verse 7, and Yahuwah said to Satan, "From where do you come?" And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, "From diligently searching in the earth and from walking up and down in it." And it goes on in the next 3 verses. And Yahuwah said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a perfect and straight man, one who fears Elohim and turns aside from evil?" And Satan answered Yahuwah and said, "Is Job fearing Elohim for naught? Have you not made a hedge around him and around his household and around all that he has on every side? You have Baruch the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land." So that's kind of like a second witness to the first verse, which said Yahuwah will make them strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that it's 7 years since the Revelation 12 sign. And
Yeah, or the 6 years, right? 6 years, 6 months,
Yes, I didn't know that.
6 days. And what was the other? Years, months, days. I think there was 4 different things
Trying
that
to
you
get
had there.
presentation mode now. There we are. Yeah.
Years, months, weeks, and days. Okay. Hmm. You would think if it's 6 weeks, and that means it's 7 months. But I guess they've got it broken down that way.
Mm. So many signs, so many clues, codes, pointers.
And it seems like you can see people either turning towards righteousness, really like the light and the dark are becoming kind of really strongly delineated. And you see people either moving towards righteousness, or you see them moving towards just tearing up that image of Yahuwah on themselves.
Yes.
And that's prophesized. Sorry. Shalom, everyone. Yeah, that's prophesied in Revelation. But when you're saying months, years, days, etc., that's exactly what it says in Bereshit Genesis 1:14, where it comes to that are going to be signs in the sky for years,
Yeah.
days, months.
Wow, that's so true. That is
Yeah.
a full, just a witness of that verse. Of course, the signs are going to obey what Yahuwah said is going to happen.
What has been will be again.
Indeed, sister.
It was interesting to me that there are 2 white horses. I'm like, I hadn't thought of that before. One's coming with the bow by itself, and the other one's coming with a conqueror with an army of white horses.
Yes.
So that was like, okay, wow. Do not be deceived. Keep looking up. If they say, there he is, come and see, like a tourist attraction or whatever, a command, you can literally go, well, no, I can't see it. I should be able to see it myself.
Yes.
It's not correct. It's a deception.
Yeah, you're right there, Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm like, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, we talked the other day about how this white horse, it's not mentioned if he has arrows. It doesn't say he has a bow and arrows. It just says he has a bow.
Exactly. And a crown. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's almost like an optic, right? Oh, it looks like he's going to do something, or it looks like he is going to take charge. Maybe, and it talks about he's conquering with an optic.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you're talking politics.
Well, that's sort of what it sounds like.
Politics.
Yeah, let's put a crown on him and let's give him a bow, let's give him a horse, but there's no arrows. But they'll see the bow. Wow.
Yeah. It's just everything is coming together. We've got, Iran launching missiles into Israel, and Israel are doing a ground invasion now, when there's things happening at the docks and the ports and things, isn't there?
There's a lot going on.
A lot.
And it's worldwide. It's worldwide, that, Jeanette. They had strikes here in Brisbane about the strikes at the dock. So,
wow.
Yeah. Something's kicking off, with as we were talking, Tessa, wasn't it? I couldn't get a handle on it before of what is happening in October because there's so much, you know, and the signs in the heavens and the things that are happening on the earth. And I was
Yeah.
just happy when this came to me, and I was able to kind of put it all together, you know, with the red dragon and the white horse and Yahushua being up in the heaven, and this is the first seal. I think he's opened the first seal. The white horse is about to ride, if he's not already. I mean, we're not actually going to see a horse, but all the imagery is out there. And this October the 9th, I don't know what's going to happen. Might not be the 9th, it might be a couple of days after or before or a couple of weeks, but we're told to look up, to pay attention, you know, keep the oil in our lamps going.
Yeah, even the billboards you were showing in Texas were saying look up, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it had something about the white horse on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I missed that
Did you
one.
see that, Tessa? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
You didn't. And let me go back and I'll show you because
Yeah.
you can't miss this.
They've got the big Texan fair down there at the moment, haven't they?
Okay.
I'm not aware, but that doesn't mean much.
See this? So look up octoberthe9th.com. So it's an actual website. And then it says,
And then
behold, white
wow.
horse bow. And it's got the couple of shooting stars or meteors. I mean, that
I
is.
know years ago we had a sign that just had a woman and it just had look up.
Mm.
And I always thought, what was that about? And it was around 7 years ago. So
Ah, I know.
I mean, that's a sign of Sagittarius there, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a centaur, isn't it? It's half horse, half man.
Yeah. Did you happen to look and see if there's anything, any sort of sign in the heaven about Sagittarius?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I wonder.
Mm. I felt it was time to stop on this one because I was bringing lots of extra bits in, and you know it it can go and go and go.
Yeah,
So,
there are people that study
so
those signs in the heavens for sure.
yeah, well, it's the Mazzaroth, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the scriptures.
it's when you make it about yourself that's wrong.
Right.
But there's windows and these signs come. It's like every September, October time we get Virgo, Betula, and that's why we can get these signs in the heaven. You know, the woman clothed in the sun 7 years ago because she's actually up there at that time. So
Right. And when Judah's on is keeping their 7th month feast in October, is that correct?
yes,
Right.
they are.
So
yeah. This new moon that's coming, it will be their Yom Teruah, won't it?
yeah, around the 6th, around the 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the 5th. Will be the new moon. It'll be the new moon of the 8th month, but they will regard it as the new moon of the 7th month. So that sign
Isn't that tomorrow for them?
uh
I know they go by SAT day, but
yeah.
with today being the last Sabbath of the month for us here in the Southern Hemisphere,
Yeah,
don't
it's
we
just a
have
question of what
tomorrow?
is today and what is tomorrow for Israel
Yes.
as Australia, because yeah, as
Go
time marches on,
I'm going to go to the live table now,
right?
and we can look at underlying verses. You just talk among yourselves for a minute.
Yeah, and was there something about that third? I can't remember, Jeanette, and I was trying to look as you were sharing it about the third. There was something in the definition I thought that was a little bit, because sometimes, isn't it sometimes that people are told to do things 3 times, or there was just, I think there was something about a power with the third. We know that there's also something with 7, like when Naaman was told to dip 7 times for being cleaned and restored from his leprosy. I think we studied that on Shabbat this past week. But there's also something about the number 3, doing things 3 times. Do you remember what that was, Jeanette, in the definition? I can try to look it up.
No, I don't. I know you liked the triple.
Yeah, something
I
about
did-
triple.
Yeah, I did make a slide. I did mention it.
Yeah, I just wasn't able to grasp it today. But that's okay. I've had a tough week, so I'm not going to grasp
That's
everything. for sure.
Sister. But I did show that it means like a third part triplicate, you know,
Yeah,
every
there's just something there. There's something there about the 3 for sure.
yeah.
Jeanette, I'd like to have a look at what is under Yahushua.
Okay. Yahushua. Where is Yahushua? He's green. Here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's what it's hard to see on the live table.
Oh,
No, when you're looking at my little screen, so
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, is there anything I can do to make it so you can see it better? So
no.
this, the Yod in Yahushua, it's only, I know it says the skip's 1613, but it's all in Chronicles and it's just from chapter 23 to 36. So a lot of it is repeated. So the Yod in Yahushua, just here, is 2 Chronicles 34:6. And so did he in the cities of Manasseh and Ephraim and Shimeon, as far as Naphtali, with their ruins around it. And I should imagine, because it's going horizontal, that the whole of this horizontal line will be the same. Yeah, it is. It is. But I must show you this. I must show you this Dalit. Where are we? 5. I have to write these down because when I haven't got it annotated, I get lost. 596. There, this Dalit, which is in, oh, what was it? What was that word? Oh, DNA. Yeah. Look at this. It's 2 Chronicles 34:27. Because your heart was penitent and you humbled yourself before Elohim when you heard his words against this place and against its inhabitants, and you humbled yourself before me and have torn your clothes and have wept before me, I have heard you also, says Yahuwah. Wow.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's repairing the temple.
Yeah. And it just reminds me of 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and restore their land. But no.
So that's under the service text for the Dallas in DNA, and you know, just it's just jumping out at me that the Dallas is the door.
Yes, stop Bonnie. Yes.
Yeah, or the opening, the entrance. Like
Yes.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
the noon
whatever.
being perpetual seed.
Yeah. Well, he's going to stand at the door and knock. Whoever he is and invites him in. You've got to invite him in. He doesn't insist on coming. It's all there. It's just amazing. Okay, so we'll have this Sarmek first in the access term. It's better if we go down because if we go horizontal, we're likely to keep getting the same verse all the time. So this is the Sarmek for horse, and it's 2 Chronicles 30:18. For a multitude of the people, many of them from Ephraim and Manasseh, we know who that is, Issachar and Zebulon, had not cleansed themselves so that they ate the Paschal lamb or the Passover lamb, otherwise than what it was prescribed. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, the good Yahuwah pardon everyone. So that's him asking for pardon for the people. We're not going to get that these days. We're not going to get that now. No, it's this one. It's this other Sarmek. 2 Chronicles 32:15. And now do not let Hezekiah deceive you, nor persuade you on this manner, nor should you believe him. For no Elohim of any nation or kingdom was able to save his people from my hand and from the hand of my fathers. How much less shall your Elohim save you from my hand?
Mm. Wow.
Good,
So
isn't it? Good. Yeah,
so much more.
And then we've got this Yod, which is in, what is it in? This Yod. See, when I'm looking at this, it's Shin Bet Yod. What is that? A tet? I'm not seeing what it is. Oh, anyway, this Yod is 569, 2 Chronicles 28:9. But a prophet of Yahuwah was there, whose name was Oded, and he went out before the army that came to Samaria, and said to them, behold, because Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers was angry with Yehudah, he has delivered him into your hand, and you have slain them in a rage that reaches up to heaven. Now I've just got goosebumps because of what's happening over there today.
Cleansing the temple.
And then we've got the Sheen, 647. The Sheen here. Second Chronicles 36:13. And he also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who had made him swear by Elohim, but he stiffened his neck and and hardened his heart from turning to Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. Talk about a message for today.
Yes.
Wow.
Anything else, Tessa, that you would like me to look under?
There's probably all of it, Jen, but
I think it's
there's
all
just,
muchness, you know.
well, when you think about where it is in the surface text,
Yeah,
it's telling the whole story of
yeah,
the repairs to the temple, the covenant, etc., and then it comes out and he cleanses the temple. He's cleaning the temple.
yeah. And the temple is our bodies.
That's
as
it.
well, you know. I mean, that gives added weight to that, the DNA and the sort of the red of dragons that sort of, like I say, reminded me of blood of dragons. I don't know. probably just going off at a tangent, but you know what I mean. Shall I shut this bit down now?
Yeah, Jeanette, yes, can you go to the slide you shared with the clips going over the Salems? I just wanted to go
Yeah.
over that definition.
Okay.
So we have Sheen Lamed Mem for Shalem or Shalom, Shalom, Salem. It's the same word in Hebrew, the same 3 letters. And I'll just wait for Jeanette to pull that screen up.
I'm
Slide.
coming.
Was it 7 Salems? Was that it?
Yes, apparently. Now, where are you?
This was back in 2017.
There we are. Can you see it?
Yeah, there we go. We're in presentation. There we go. And so Sheen Lamed Mem for Salem, Salim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalem means to be ended, be finished, be complete, to be whole, be safe, to be peaceful, be at ease. The Phoenician shalom is to complete, to requite. Aramaic and Syriac shalem was complete, was safe. Salima is Arabic, was intact, was in Tob health. Akkadian shalamu, to be unharmed, be complete, to be paid. Egyptian sharma is to greet, do homage. Says it's a Semitic loan word. And it's developed from the base shalah, to be at ease, through the medium of shalom, peace, which also means like wholeness. It was made tob, restored, made compensation. He paid, he requited, recompensed, rewarded. So reward can go one way or the other. Just you're recompensed for what you have done is the idea there. And we were talking about this going over a nation here. Was performed, said of a vow, was repaid, was requited. It was paying, was profitable. He completed his studies, he became accomplished. He ended, finished, completed, accomplished. Was ended, was finished. He made peace, he submitted himself, surrendered. And it also says entire, whole, complete, healthy, safe, unharmed, perfect, at peace, a peace offering. To the rendering peace offering is based on the translation of the Septuagint. It's a name of a kind of sacrifice. It's also New Hebrew is payment, pay master, pay clerk, requital, recompense, peace, garment, mantle, and clothes is shalamah, is garment, mantle, and clothes. And then if we could go to that screen where you were talking about Sheen Labed Sheen, the 3 or third.
Okay. Let's come out of this.
I'm reading these definitions from the A Comprehensive Etymological Dictionary of the Hebrew Language by Ernest Klein, our red dictionaries. And so the shalosh is to multiply by 3. He did something 3 times. He divided into 3 parts. He multiplied by 3. If you remember back at the Abraham covenant where the animals were cut into parts and they were 3 years old, right?
Through them, yes.
Yeah. He multiplied by 3, was 3-folded, was threefold, was 3 years old. According to several scholars, the meaning is was of the third, i.e. best in a litter, was said or written 3 times. He did something a 3rd time. It was divided into 3 parts. He was appointed arbitrator. He deposited with a 3rd person. He divided into 3 parts, was deposited, one of the third generation, the grandson, the great grandson, formed from Shalosh 3 and literally meaning pertaining to the third. It also in New Hebrew is drill and triplicate.
Huh? So I
You
wonder.
know what stuck out? You know what just stuck out to me with that when you were reading, Darla? All of a sudden, the 3.5 years of Yahushua's ministry.
Yeah. Well, all
And-
the man of lawlessness is going to be around, isn't he? Going to be around for 3.5 years first.
That's
Uh,
what they say. Some
yeah.
say that there's a 3.5 years. Some say there's 7 years.
Yeah, times and half
Duration.
time.
Yeah, we've all got to
Yeah.
go back to what Daniel says.
Oh, maybe that's where we are. Yeah.
So what is your big takeaway, Jeanette, on this whole table that you've worked on so many?
Oh dear. I think the bell is ringing loud and clear. I think, time is virtually up. I think we're going to see maybe the beast system quite soon. I think the man of lawlessness for sure will be coming soon with all these signs from the heavens. It's like, as I said 7 years ago, you had Revelation 12, 1 and 2, and now 7 years later, a comet and a solar eclipse again. And now we're going to be getting, things coming from the heavens. Look up, during October, this is coming, that is coming, this comet, this second sun, this whatever,
Yeah, and we see so many signs we see a lot of signs in the weather for sure.
Yes, yep.
Crazy flooding and
Can I ask, when it comes to where the flooding is, like I'm not sure of where everything is over in the States, but I'm just wondering where the Salems are. Is that where some of that flooding happened just this past week? With
not
those
that I'm
towns
aware
being,
of. I did
I,
look at
I,
Florida and North Carolina, but wasn't looking in terms of where those Salem cities are.
yeah, because you've got Tennessee, and I know that they were talking about cross there. So I just
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah, I think it's just so interesting to see how even the people seem to be very demonstrative of what they are feeling and seeing. There's a lot of vocalization about what people think is the right thing that they should be doing or speaking about it. Some people seem like they're not saying anything. They're not taking a side of what they think is right, or they feel like they're not allowed to speak, or that they'll be silenced or whatever. But
There's a lot of anger.
yeah, you'll see actors, for instance, and public figures, images, and all of this, people that have a lot of endorsements and followers and such. They'll be speaking. We'll try to figure out how to get to my camera here. My stuff is in the way. They'll be speaking about they'll be speaking out their opinion on things. Thank you, Jeanette. For whatever reason, I'm technologically challenged today, and I'm just gonna.
You've had a hard week.
Yeah, I've had a really hard week, and maybe that is, I just have to accept how it is sometimes. And I mean, just serve you however I'm able to serve him in any given moment. But I see a lot of actors standing up for at least their understanding of what is righteousness and speaking out against the Goliath in their world, which may be their whole industry that hires them. And they may be losing their jobs, and and others just, to me, it's sort of like an adult version of, I'm going to hold my breath until I turn blue and pass out if so-and-so gets into office, or, it's their way of saying, I'm going to get on a plane. And I'm thinking, what are you so guilty of that you're afraid? It just, that's where my discernment takes me just about every time. Why do you have to
So
leave the
So, Darla, do you really think that they're getting their heart's desires?
I think people are afraid. I think I just see a lot of fear. A lot of fear. The longshoremen, from what little I've looked into it with their strike, they're afraid that AI is going to take over their jobs. And that's what and obviously they need more money, because who doesn't in this, the way the economy is raped and pillaged the people. I think it's just going to become
Well,
more
that's
and
prophesied too.
yeah.
It's all prophesied.
Well, that'll
A
be
day's wage for a loaf of bread.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the other horses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're seeing the wars. The wars are getting amped up as well. We turned a corner. We turned a corner when the whole CV thing happened in 2020. And I felt it then. I felt like life will never be what it was before. It will never be the same. And here's another thing a lot of people are coming out against, is medical professionals and those that work in labs and stuff coming out against what happened there. And we can't even talk about it because, hey, they'll just take your channel down. But so many deaths and damage and things that people now have to live with, the consequences. And I think it was like, I saw one in 800 had died from taking the jab.
And how many years ago did the ripple effects sort of start? They didn't want it to all happen at once, so little by little. So
Little by
this is
little.
how much in the first year, this is how much in the second year, this is how much in the third year.
Yeah. Yeah, that is it. And I just think that we are definitely, I believe we were chosen for this generation. And I believe,
Hallelujah.
yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. We just bind ourselves tightly to Yahuwah. And I just in there.
I love it how Christy says she's going to Velcro herself to your leg.
Yeah,
I think that
so
terminology is just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remind us that 2 Chronicles 16:9 says, for the eyes of Yahuwah diligently search throughout all the earth to show himself strong on behalf of those whose heart is perfect to him.
Hallelujah.
That is our hope, our belief, our expectation. We can certainly expect it.
I sometimes imagine when I'm just sitting quietly, sitting still with doing anything. And if I go up and I just go and look at the clouds and whatnot, and I just say hello.
Yeah.
I just say hello and then say thank you.
So important to be thankful.
Yes.
Well, we're supposed to enter his courts with thanksgiving and praise.
Yeah.
Not fear and doubt, but thanksgiving and praise.
That's right. Yeah. He's got a hedge around us. Job had a hedge around him. He's got a hedge around us. Nothing can happen to us unless he allows it. And even then, Job came out ahead at the end. Once he was tested.
He was given a double portion.
Yeah. I have to share a little story with you guys. I was doing a little gardening the other day, getting ready to grow some roots on some grasses, little pieces of grass about so long. And I had them all in some dirt in a little tub. and I saw this earthworm crawl. He was on the top of the dirt, which is not where an earthworm wants to be. He wants to be under the earth, underground. So I saw him inch his little way. He was not an inchworm, but he was sort of inching his way over. And instead of him just going into the ground anywhere, he went into one of the holes where I had just planted the grass. And it was so fun to just watch him I'm going in that way instead. He thought about it. It looked like it was premeditated where he was going, and he just pulled himself down underground through the hole I had just made.
So thanks.
Yeah.
This is
I
the easy
love
way.
it.
I'm going the way she pointed.
Right? She made a way in for me. Yeah. I just love how we can get so many lessons from the Father, just being out with him.
Yes.
Bringing it all to him and observing the way he makes his world work. Even an earthworm. I even saw earthworm today when I was looking at one of the words. I forget which one it was now, but it was, I think it might have been near the Zadi Het Noon word Zukin that I was looking up. Zukistan or whatever it was. Yeah, that had something to do with earthworm, I think. Yeah, well, Jeanette, thank you. It was just a beautiful table, sister. It's amazing. It's encouraging. And for
Praise
those
and esteem as always to Yahuwah and Yahushua, showing me what to look for to put it together.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we ask
Thank
you
you,
would
Jeanette.
to Barak you,
Thank you.
sister, for all of your amazing work in his word with his codes, and just be with you and your family and your beautiful place there in Jamaica.
Yeah, I'll be glad when November comes and the weather can, with storms, rain, lightning,
Yes, absolutely.
this storm, that storm. But it's everywhere. You're getting them in the Pacific too. Right?
A little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Yeah.
It's getting flooding. England's getting flooding. Everywhere's getting, bad storms.
Yeah, it definitely is. And how is your weather there, Teza?
We had a pretty high winds last week. There was a low sort of sitting off the coast. But there was no damage here. There was a bit of flash flooding around northern New South Wales, but it didn't get us here. It was lovely to have our tanks, praise Father, that some tanks were filled up, water tanks.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, that's what
Great time to keep things tapped off, I think.
yeah. As long as all the trees are still standing and reaching for the sky and and not falling down, I'm happy.
As long as Yahuwah is on the throne, we're great.
Exactly.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
We're born
hallelujah.
for such a time as this, as you said, Darla. We're born
We
for
were.
such a time as this.
And we read
And to
the back
see,
of the book. We know who wins.
And we
yeah,
serve him. We just serve him with our whole hearts.
we
Just
pray
serve
that we're counted worthy to stand before the Son of Man on his return. Hallelujah, hallelujah, may it be so.
So that's right. All right, you guys, I'm going to say shalom to you and thank you for joining us for this. Sorry for our rough start. I've had a rough week here and I'm just was having some challenges with YouTube and Zoom and making sure I wasn't over recording and stuff, over broadcasting here on 2 different places with audio and stuff. But thank you for joining us, and may Yahuwah be with you through this next month coming towards us here.